Hello. Hi, everyone. So what we see is the layout, right? The plan of the old city of Jerusalem. And you can see how small the Armenian quarter is. It's even less than the Jewish quarter. And in fact, in general, it is kind of considered part of the Christian quarter too, but not entirely because Armenian well, Christianity is still very different from many other denominations. We will be talking about it in many ways, and especially the Armenian presence and the Armenians that are located in Jerusalem. And it's uh, well, many often ask me, okay, well, Anna, can you explain us what do Armenians have to do in Jerusalem? Why on earth do they have their own quarter in Jerusalem? Well, the answer is very simple. Armenians were the very first nation to adopt Christianity as their state religion. This happened at the very beginning of the year 301. We will talk about it briefly also as the tour goes. And since then, the Armenian monks and the Armenian presence would be in Jerusalem on a permanent basis. And the Armenian diaspora, the Armenian community didn't cease to be even during the times of Muslims, well, first Muslim period, right, starting from 638, when the Caliphate came to the Holy Land. It flourished under the Crusaders, and it flourished even more during the Ottoman rule. So this is just amazing how, regardless of the historic periods and those who control the Holy Land, uh, well, Christian, Muslim, and Jewish presence had always been very strong. Well, not evenly strong, maybe, but still, it was all there. And Armenians were always a big part of the Christian community in the old city. So Armenians have all the right to have their quarter of Jerusalem Old City. And out of this, like 15% of the entire, well, that the Armenian Quarter occupies, we can see freely, actually, about 7%, maybe, something like that. So it is indeed the most inaccessible and thus kind of a little bit mysterious and always underexplored area. What can I say? I'll try to fix it as much as I can. I'm not Armenian. I don't have any exclusive access. Yes, I have some friends in the Armenian Quarter, but not much I can do here because in many of the places you're not allowed to film. Even if you visit, you cannot film, and that's a dilemma, of course. Anyway, let's get started. And well, the easiest way to get to the Armenian Quarter would be through Jaffa Gate, or through Zion Gate. So both ways work perfectly. But I decided to start the tour with the new gate. And the new gate you can easily find is at the corner of the Jaffa Road. And you can see the new gate over there, right next to Notre Dame, the France Hostel. I don't use I cannot see the point. You cannot see the pointer here as I share the Zoom. I don't think you can. I'm not sure anymore because this has changed so many times, but I will try my heart. I will try my luck. So this is the new gate. Anyway, all the three gates are easy to access and it's easy to find your way to the Armenian Quarter. But I will explain the reason why I decided to start with the new gate. I think this is interesting. And so this is the new gate. You already know from the map where we are. And whenever I talk about the Christian and communities and pilgrimage to the Holy Land of the 19th century, I start my tours here because exactly thanks to the arrival of Christian pilgrims to the Holy Land and the purchase of, you can't see the pointer. Oh, good, Sharon. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So I wasn't sure because good. That makes things a lot easier for me. Good. Thank you, dear. Um, and because Christian communities, well, very few could buy at least some small plots of land within the old city, but most of the Christians could not. There was just not enough space. And they would be buying the plots of land outside of the old city, but they desperately needed a quick access to the old city. So, for example, the St. Louis Hospital that belonged to the French Catholic Church, and also Notre Dame de Paris, well, Notre Dame, not the Paris, Notre Dame Hospital, which is right from here. You also desperately needed a quicker access. And this is when the new gate was built. It is the mid 19th century, well, in 1870s, Suleiman, the Sultan Abdulhamid II decided to build, well, this new gate. And here we have it. By the way, if you continue walking down the street along the Suleiman Street, named after the great Sultan of the Ottoman times, you will eventually find yourself next to the Damascus Gate, and then you can easily access the old city through the Muslim Quarter. But it's still, quite a schlep, as we say in Israel. This is the word from Yiddish. It's like a long walk. So why would you need that? They definitely didn't need that. This is me in by the new gate, and the new gate is this new ways of exploring. I mean, it was in the 19th century. Now it's just probably as old as hills, but you get the idea. This is the access to the Christian Quarter. And we have already explored the Christian Quarter together with you on multiple tours, and we know that the Christian heritage can be found in all the four quarters. This is the Castello Terra Sancta, the big Franciscan community, and there are a lot of places that we have visited together. But so, as I said, since Armenians are, well, part of the Christian community anyway, you can also easily find Armenian sites even here in this quarter. And I will show you one. But in general, what is important to understand is the difference between many Christian communities. Well, is significant. I'm not, well, we all understand difference between Catholics, Lutherans, right? Orthodox, but the Armenians, they are even more different. This is all explained. Well, if you go back in history, we will talk about it as we explore the history, then the of some of the religious sites. But I would like to start with something less heavy, with a little bit less heavy duty. What do we know the Armenian? What is the symbol of the Armenian Quarter in Jerusalem, right? What do we love this quarter for? What is so special? Because every quarter is special. Obviously the Jewish quarter, there is the Kotel, right? So the Western Wall. Christian Quarter has so much, including obviously the highlight, the Holy Sepulchre Church. The Muslim Quarter has the amazing shuk, the amazing market. And so what about the Armenian Quarter? Well, yes, they have the Saint James Church, but that's not just that. It's way more than that. There is also a lot of ceramic stores and workshops, the Armenian ceramics. And as I said, you can find the Armenian presence everywhere in the old city of Jerusalem, including the Temple Mount. So we'll talk about it. So who is this gentleman in the photo? Well, this man is absolutely crucial for the history of, I would say, the old city even, David Ahanasyan. So he was an Armenian, but he lived in the area together with his family of Kütahya, modern day Kütahya, which is the territory of Turkey. But this is the territory where Armenians used to live. But he had to flee because of the Ottoman Empire, right? And so we obviously will be briefly talking about the Armenian genocide and the events of 1915. Obviously, like everywhere in the Armenian Quarter, you will come across the stories of genocide. But so he eventually fled together with his family. He lived in Syria, and This is when he was, well, we're talking now about actually the years after the genocide. We're talking about the years after the First World War, like early 1919, 1920s. And this is when David Hanessian, who at that time in Syria had already opened his ceramics workshop, because he happened to be from the area where a lot of Armenians were involved in this type of uh, trade and craft. You wouldn't find Armenian tiles, you wouldn't find Armenian ceramics like what we're going to see now in Armenia itself. No, because this type of art and craft would be done on the former Armenian territories that were seized by the Ottomans in the 19th and 20th century. So, but in Syria, David Hanessian meets Mark Sykes. And well, even if you're not familiar with the history of well, Palestine, right, and British Mandate, you may have heard of Mark Sykes, who was a big diplomat, and he was even behind the Balfour Declaration, and he is one of the important figures in the First World War. He was a diplomat. And you may have heard him in connection with the Sykes-Picot Agreement as well. This was the secret agreement between Sykes and his colleague, the French diplomat, Francois Georges Picot. That was a secret agreement between France and Britain, also approved by Russia, well, Russian Empire at that time, 1916 still. Uh, that was the agreement to actually divide and conquer in the Ottoman Empire after the First World War would be over. And well, this Sykes-Picot Agreement eventually had a very, very, I would say, far-reaching consequences for the Middle East, because the lands would be divided without taking into consideration any ethnical questions. They couldn't care less. They couldn't care less about different denominations, different social ethnic groups within the Arab population as well. So that's another story, definitely worth a separate tour about. But we're not getting into that. So, but Sykes, obviously, later on, after the end of the First World War, was one of the very important contributors to the Balfour Declaration, which I have spoken about. I have spoken about a lot. So the Balfour Declaration, this was it. This was the green light for the British to establish the Jewish state in Palestine, and that's what the British well tried to do for several decades, but they did not succeed. But that's a whole different story. And again, a lot of it was done actually with a lot of neglect to different issues. But nevertheless, it's not about that. What else? What the British did? They were involved in the restoration of the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount. And so Sykes met David Hanessian and offered him immediately to come to Palestine, settle in the Armenian Quarter, and create tiles to restore the Dome of the Rock mosaics. So let me take you to the Dome of the Rock, to the Temple Mount, for a very short visit. I know, I know you must have had enough by now, because we had done, I don't know, 15 hours of tours from different perspectives about the Temple Mount. And okay, this is just a little reminder of what there is. So look at all these tiles. So David Harisyan, together with his family and several of his students, he, with the financing from the British Mandate, restored the tile work on the Dome of the Rock. Just look at this. And none of this you can find in Armenia itself. So again, the question that I get often asked, But why we don't see this in Armenia itself? Because in the Armenia proper, this activity, well, this kind of art was not practiced. No, this just would be the different territories which no longer belong to Armenia. Also, the Rockefeller Museum. This is me last summer, as I lived in Israel for about a month and a half. The Rockefeller Museum was built during the Mandate period, and Hanessian was commissioned the decoration of the Rockefeller Museum and its courtyard. Look at that. I know we haven't done Rockefeller Museum tours. We should. I filmed it. So I'm on it. And this is the tour you would never want to miss. Trust me. And it's not only because of the Hanessian ceramics, but that as well. Trust me, it's absolutely striking. And if they have the guts and actually dare and close Rockefeller Museum and open a hotel there, oh, I don't know what's going to happen in Israel. I don't know. Okay, but anyway, so why are we in the new quarter looking for in the new gate and the Christian quarter looking for Armenian heritage? Because yes, there is the Santorini Ceramic Center. This particular center is from 18th end of the 1970s, so it's not the oldest. But the family that runs it is the descendants of the first families that started the ceramics workshops in Jerusalem in the 1920s during the Mandate period. And look at that. So this is not the ceramics, this is not the workshop we are going to have a tour of. So in the end, I'm going to invite you to Harut's workshop. But look at all these abundance. Look at all these colors. Just well, and this ceramics comes with very different kinds, different color combinations. There will be common features which Harut will definitely be talking about. I'll let him speak because he is the god of ceramics, if I can say so. Probably not, but you get the point. But every flower, every color, and the combination has a meaning, has a big symbolism. And well, this type of Armenian ceramics have become the symbol not just of the Armenian Quarter, but of the entire Jerusalem and even Israel. You can find it on many souvenirs that you may have been given. They may look similar because these are the one of the most beautiful souvenirs you can find. And oh my goodness, the colors, it's just incredible. So this was just a very quick visit because I want to show you the variety, the diversity of the workshops. And we continue through the Christian Quarter, Latin Patriarchate. We saw it, we spoke about it a little bit. And now I'm just diving into these, all these narrow streets of the Christian Quarter, but I'm really speeding up because we have walked the streets already. I just want to walk you through these streets and eventually, well, yeah, by the way, these are the Christmas decorations they always hang here all year round because I think it's just cheaper to leave them there than putting them up and down. I guess so. And we're almost done. We are almost by the Jaffa Gate, and from there we can easily find our way to the Armenian Quarter. So this is one way to access the Armenian Quarter. As I said, through the new gate, you just pass by some parts of the Christian Quarter, and voila, you're here. To the right hand side will be the Jaffa Gate, which is the central access. One of the most used accesses to the old city. There you go, Jaffa Gate. Why is it also that's often used? Because it has uh, entrance for cars, which is thanks to uh, Kaiser Wilhelm II. Yeah, but we spoke about. I'm not going into this now. There you go. You see the pointer, so it's good. This is the Jaffa Gate. So just in case you're planning a visit to Jerusalem, to the Holy Land on your own, so okay. from Manila shopping mall, you can easily find yourself by the Jaffa Gate, and you can enter through the Jaffa Gate just like this. I did a tour of all the gates and walls of the old city, so I'm not getting to this now. But this is how past the vendors with Jerusalem bagels and falafels, um, well, and the saffron buns with raisins. You can easily just grab something as you go, and then a short walk past the Imperial Hotel, some of the most opulent and one of the oldest hotels in Jerusalem, opened in the during the times when the pilgrimage on a large scale started. This is the train, the Rakevet, that can take you to the Jewish quarter and to the Kotel, to the Western Wall. Well, very close to it, to the Dung Gates, and very close to the checkpoint. So it well, because this is still a walk in Jerusalem. It is walkable, but it's still a walk. And if you have issue walking, difficulty walking, and or you're traveling with kids, it's it's still going to be a well a difficult walk. So there are a lot of ways to make it more pleasurable. But as we go, I just cannot ignore that. And this is something you're definitely bound to see. This is the famous museum called the Tower of David. However, it has nothing to do with David. Actually, this is the former palace of Herod the Great, which served to all the people that were in charge of Jerusalem throughout history. There was a Crusader citadel there. There was the Ottoman citadel there, and that's exactly why on the territory you can find a mosque. And as we go, we will actually be all the way to the Armenian Quarter, and through the Armenian Quarter, we will actually be walking on the territory of the former Herodian palace and fortress, just as we go. And by the way, just here is the Christian Information Center. This is the center where you can always get the most accurate and updated information with regards to the operational hours of all the churches, regardless of the denomination. We're also passing by Christ Church, which is interesting. It has interesting history, and I filmed it, and I'm definitely taking you to the Christ Church. But here we are. We are already approaching the Armenian Quarter. You see over there the Armenian flags. So we are here. And well, whenever you are in the old city, it doesn't tell you, oh, okay, welcome to the Jewish Quarter, or welcome to the Muslim Quarter. It doesn't work this way. And the division is more um, administrative than geographical. But yes, it's still there. So another workshop. It was closed when I was there. It was about 8 in the morning, and you see the abundance of the colors. You see all that again, different flowers, color combinations. They all have their meanings. I'm not a specialist. Well, you will often see pomegranate. Pomegranate is a big symbol in Judaism, in Christianity too. And it's a big symbol of the Holy Land, right? It's a very important fruit in the Holy Land in general, with all the symbols. So it's one of the best souvenirs, and it's also just, I mean, look at this, right? And tiles, and and even the small coasters or magnets. So this is the best. The Armenian Tavern. I have never been there, but well, I'm just hoping that someday it will reopen. I don't know when it closed. I never saw it open, and I'm not sure. Maybe it's just is it because of the war? But even in 1923, then I was there. Sorry, in 2023 when I was there, it was closed. So maybe it was the pandemic that eventually just affected the business and it closed? That's a good question. I don't know. And so as we go to the right hand side and to the left hand side, this is the already the territories of the Armenian Quarter. Uh, but the thing is that mm, you don't you don't really see what's behind the walls. And that's why, and it goes like this almost till the end. So most of the Armenian Quarter is like hidden behind the walls from both sides of the street. And yes, remember I told you that there is always memorial to the Armenian genocide, right? To the remembrance of the Armenian genocide. It's always there. It is there. And well, Armenian restaurant, but the well, it's closed. I I have never been there, unfortunately, but I have been to most of the ceramics workshop. Another one, and you will see it's a little bit different. And also they have well the predominant colors, and they have like they group it differently. Look at that. So this even has a bit more Russian connotation to me. Look at all these beautiful tags. I'm not sure if they can be used as the. I'm not sure what they can be used for. It's just beautiful the way they hang. And look at all those uh, different symbols, different crosses, Armenian crosses, so Hutch cards. Oh, it's like a whole different topic about the Armenian crosses. We're going to talk about it, but you may have noticed, and you will notice also the Crusader crosses, Jerusalem crosses. Well, that's cross over there. Give me a sec. I need to take you back. Okay. I was allowed to film, by the way. I asked the permission from the lady who runs the workshop, so she told me I could film. So we're good. You see that cross? Oh, I can use the mouse. This is the famous Jerusalem cross. You will find it here. You can find Russian Orthodox crosses. You can find a lot of Jewish symbols as well. So it's not exclusively Armenian, it's for everyone and of different styles. Love it. Unfortunately, this particular store doesn't offer workshops. There's just no space. But I'll take you to the best one, okay? To the best one. Menorahs. Look at these gorgeous menorahs. Wow. Absolute wow. And this is not an issue. Actually, there are no rules as to how your menorahs should look. Well, there has to be 7 candles, or if it's a Hanukkah, there has to be 9 candles, right, for Hanukkah menorahs, but they can look differently. And my goodness, well, there can be gazillions of different varieties of menorahs in different styles. But this one I find absolutely fascinating. I think I actually like, I don't know, I like all of them. Maybe this one. Well, this is the Hanukkah exactly, so I don't know. Anyway, so let's move on. And pomegranates of different sizes. I mean, look at those, right? And so the workshops, of course, anyone can visit. But when it gets to religious facilities, educational facilities, churches, this is a whole different story. Well, like for example, the Armenian Orthodox Patriarchate Road. So this is the big administration center. And so these doors used to be yellow when I came, like when I made Aliyah in 2020, 2022, 2023. And then this time as I was there, they were already black, but it doesn't matter. So I filmed multiple times. So, all my videos, they're kind of a combination of various videos that I filmed, plus footage, plus photographs and also photos from open sources. St. James Street. Through this street, by the way, you can also access the Jewish quarter as well. But well, Saint James is an important figure. It's a very important saint in Armenian in let's say for Armenian community in Jerusalem and in general. So Armenian Patriarchate of Jerusalem. So it resides in the old city in the Armenian Quarter. It has quite a big well Okay, I haven't said that it only occupies about 16% of the territory. Okay, a big part of this territory is occupied by the Patriarchate, and well, we are not allowed there anyway, so it's all behind the walls. And so why Saint James? So James was one of the very, very first Christians. And for Armenians, this is important because they were the first people to adopt Christianity as their official religion. And so it was the Saint Gregory the Illuminator, so who in the uh, who who brought Christianity to Armenia, right? And he educated and and kind of brought the enlightenment, right, to the people of Armenia. Why the Armenian Church is called the Armenian Apostolic Church? Because well, they believe that that their faith originated within the apostles, especially the Bartholomew, Saint Bartholomew, and well, I just like this artwork, so I'm sharing it with you. So this is Rubens, why not? 1600s, or well, or the Judas statues, well, by Anthony van Dyck, by the way, nice one, right? So beautiful. So so and the Armenian Apostolic Church and the Armenian practices are indeed very old, and they have remained unchanged ever since the well, the year 301. They literally have been changed very, very little. And why the Armenian Church stands out from all many other Christian denominations? Because well, there was absolutely crucial event, the Council of Chalcedon. It took place in the year 451. And on that, by the way, the painting by Vasily Surikov, I could not but, well, share it with you. Well, Surikov is one of my favorite artists, Russian artists, I mean. So at this council, the heads of the churches decided on the nature of Jesus, whether he was uh, a human or divine, whether it was one notion or two in one. And well, it's like diaphysitism or monophysitism or miaphysitism, right? So these type of words. And when most of the churches decided it's diaphysitism, right? So it's both human, like two natures in Jesus, right? The human and divine. But the Armenian church said no. It's these two natures in Jesus are inseparable. And you know the word meiosis, right? So they are together and they are inseparable. And so they kind of stood up and left. Well, I'm simplifying things. And that's why Armenian church kind of stands out. It has a lot of separate practices, separate days. Well, I'll just tell you one, but I'll tell you more on other tours because we're focusing on something else today. Well, for example, the Armenians celebrate Christmas on the 19th of January. So I was there in the Armenian Quarter, and I caught up with a friend of mine. And I said, "Merry Christmas." And he was like, "Thank you, Anna." It's like I was the only one who remembered from outside of the Armenian community. He's like, "Thank you so much. I'm so touched." It's like, I don't know, the entire world forgot about the Christmas, and I was the only one who greeted him. Yeah, well, this is the current Armenian Patriarch of Jerusalem, Nurhan Manogyan, and so he has incredible authority for sure among the Armenians. And Armenian Church, the activity of Armenian Church is fully recognized in Jerusalem. It's fully recognized by by other Christian denominations. Well, We all remember in the Holy Sepulchre Church, right? The Armenian chapel. It's huge, it's beautiful, and incredibly meaningful. But I would like to take you to another Sandaridi shop, workshop for ceramics, and introduce you to my friend Harut.
Okay.
And Harut runs this shop together with his brothers. So he is a descendant of one of those families that worked together with Ahanesian and learned from Ahanesian. And he let me filmed. He's gonna be giving the tour. I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I'm just there, totally fascinated. And he let me film it, and he's okay with me showing it to you. So thank you so much, Harut, and let's enjoy the tour.
You see, Anna, what we do here,
Wow, wow, whoa.
please don't make fun of it because it's an old workshop like me.
You don't look very old.
So you see what we do, the traditional Armenian. Unfortunately today most of what you find is that mass production. The traditional Armenian should be miniature. I mean, look at the detail here.
Wow.
Because every piece should have a theme. It's like building up a story. You see, like here, this is the mutual happiness.
Mutual
So
happiness.
I put the elements of the mutual happiness, and you see that brush? Look at that. And you build up the design. Once you build up the design, it takes a lot of time. It needs a lot of patience. Once you build up that design, then you apply the colors. I make my own colors, look at them. Like mud, okay? Because they are oxides. I use oxides of minerals, iron, cobalt, manganese, copper, zinc, magnesium, all these minerals, okay?
And red is the which mineral?
They are mixes. For example, this is iron oxide.
Okay. Like
Have you done
rust.
chemistry?
Like rust, right? On metal.
It's iron oxide, FeO2. Okay?
Yeah, well, rust
There
is
are
the same.
different oxides. There is FeO, Fe2O3, and so on. So, I do the color after, for example, the prosperity.
What is the symbol of prosperity?
It's not one symbol. It's the formation. It's the bouquet. How you put the flowers together. That could mean prosperity, long life, so on and so forth. Okay?
Okay.
So, after we do the colors, come over, Anna. We bring it here. This is already with the colors, okay? It's dry enough, so today I will take it and dip it in this liquid. This is the glaze. I mix my own glaze.
Wow.
Once I dip it in here, look what happens to it.
Really?
It gets covered with a white coat, okay?
Okay.
Under the white coat here, there are colors.
Yeah.
I take this, and in the kiln, I'm loading this kiln. It's empty.
What is the temperature
It's
there?
cold now.
Yeah, but what is the
It
temperature?
goes to 1050, 1100
Okay.
Celsius, okay?
Okay.
And that, depending on how much I have, what I have. In that temperature, this white thing that you see turns to glass. And the colors come out.
Wow. I mean, it's simple, but it's also not simple. It's ingenious. Whoa. This is
That's
also
the-
the kiln, another one?
This is another kiln. I have 3 kilns.
Whoa.
It takes a lot of time to heat, you know. The process, the heating process from A to Z takes about 2.5 days, I would say. Yeah, because it has to go to that temperature. Like the kilns now are, look, 15 degrees. So imagine, from 15, it has to go to 1,100.
Do you ever turn them off?
During heating? No!
No, I mean, while you're not heating, while it's not operating. Is it off?
No, it's empty now. It's cold.
It's cold, so it's off. Okay.
It stays cold until you start it.
Okay.
And there is no sense in starting it without filling it, because Let me, I'll deal with you in a second.
I'm thinking just about all the electricity bills. So he told me they're huge. And I can't imagine. That's the shop.
Were you born here in Jerusalem?
I was born here, yeah. Born and,
And bred,
yeah.
but you are an Armenian, in Armenian family.
Yes, ma'am.
And for how many generations your family's been here?
My dad, my dad was brought here at the age of 5.
Whoa.
So his dad, I'm not sure if you could hear that because I wasn't really using the microphone. I was just filming. I was just hoping to film in the store, and then Harun said, "Oh, let me show you around. You know, you're a tour guide. You are a new tour guide. Let me show you everything." So his father was brought to Jerusalem at the age of 5, and Harut was born here. And you could see the inscriptions in Hebrew, right? So Bruchim Abayim, like welcome home, like well, welcome and everything. And again, imagine just all of this has symbols. I mean, all of these are symbols.
Look at
Look.
these, how miniature. You see?
Is it like a garden?
This is actually the wedding scene. The wedding.
Wedding? Where is the
This is
groom?
This is the mother of the bride.
Okay.
This is the bride. She signed the contract.
Ah.
She is handing it to the bridegroom.
Oh.
This is the mother of the bridegroom. The bridegroom.
groom, okay.
She is bringing the gift, and you see the gift is a pomegranate.
Ooh.
And on the pomegranate is my name. I'm the gift.
You are the gift.
So Harut also told me that so the way you spell his name is Hebrew is exactly so the if you read it from right to left, it means Torah. Harut Torah. Interesting, right? But this is in Armenian, so he speaks Armenian. I heard him speak Armenian with a lady, with an elderly
Actually,
lady.
these kinds of work, we used to do them, the Armenians used to do them in Persia and Iran for a short while.
Not in Armenia itself, right?
Now, these works they were Armenian in Iran.
Yeah.
So these are the works that some people did there, the Armenian people.
No, I mean in general. Well, I was in Armenia last year.
You don't find this.
Yeah, you don't find it in Armenia.
Because we used to do it in Turkey, in the Turkish part.
Okay.
You know, in the south, in Kütahya, in Izmir, that was the art.
Okay.
This art came from there. The Armenians who were living in Kütahya, they brought it. And they started it in 1915, 16, you know.
Oh.
The British brought them over to do this kind of work.
Yes. Also the Temple Mount. Yeah, the Dome of the Rock. Yeah.
And I could not but buy something. So I bought this tile for my parents, and it means the mutual happiness. So it's just the two birds together, the colors that these birds are painted with, and the combination with different flowers. All that means the mutual happiness, the family happiness. It's like marital happiness, things like that. So I'm going to give it to my parents. Yes. And I also from another ceramic workshop I got a nice thing for Emma, for my mom-in-law, for her house. Yeah. So this I'm not sure if this is it or oh yes, I just just some more selfies because whenever you're there, you just want to you want to be taking selfies with all these pomegranates, with all these plates, with all these colors. It's just incredible, absolutely incredible. So thank you so much, Harut, and thank you so much everyone for joining this tour. So as I said, I didn't want to load it with too many ecclesiastical things. Because it's just too much Armenian, well, the workshop and well, the tiles, and then just speak about, well, I mean, this is just a bit too much. So I think we are good for now. And let me know if you have any questions. The chat is open again. And hi to those who joined us a little later. Hi, Joe. Good to see you. Hi, Glenn, as well. Oh, Diane. I think everyone else is here from the beginning. Good. So the next episode, let me share it with you again, all the links. So the second episode where I'm hoping to, well, I have a short video, so I will be using all the photographs because filming is not allowed. I will be taking you to the main church in the Armenian compound. It can be visited during the certain hours. It can be visited by anyone, but filming is restricted, that thing. And I'm hoping also, I'm working now on the video of the museum. So I managed to film it, but not this time. This time when I was there, it was closed. But last summer when I stayed in Israel, I was able to visit the museum. That was quite interesting. We'll just kind of give you a little tidbit. For example, it was the Armenians who brought the very first printing press to Jerusalem. And a lot of the translations, a lot of the, well, printing houses and also photo workshop was opened by Armenians. Beautiful ceramics. Roughly how much do large plates cost? Oh, Sharon, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't ask. But the big okay, give me a second. I'll be right back. I hope. Hold on. I'll just look for it. Okay. I'll be right back. I want to show it to you. Hold on. Almost done. Okay, I'm back. So let me show you. So this is okay. It should be, I don't know. It's just a mirror reflection, but it's the numbers, right? For the house number. So this one is made in another workshop. Actually, my friend who is he works in the St. James Church. So he started doing ceramics not so long ago, and he did it for me. So that was like 100 shekels, which is like 30, a bit more than $30. And hold on a second. No, well, hold on. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marilyn. There's one more. Wait. Well, maybe I won't open it because you saw in the photo, right? But this one in Harut's store, it costs like 50 shekels. Well, just that. But I know that he doesn't overcharge. He's always very fair, and it's all transparent, and they do workshops. But just in case you're planning to visit and create the tiles yourself, it takes about a week altogether for everything to dry, to, well, as he said, so the whole process of just heating the kiln and keeping it there takes about from 2 to 3 days. So it's a long time, so you need to do it in advance and be mindful of your stay and when you're leaving and everything to be able to pick it up. But it's a very meaningful experience for sure. Thank you so much, Maria. Yes, Armenian ceramics is incredible, and well, probably next time I'll get myself a small pomegranate because they're so beautiful and just amazing colors. So I didn't know anything about ceramics. Now I know, and well, it's beautiful. So thank you so much, Harut, as well, and thank you everyone for joining. Next episode scheduled for the same time next Sunday, and it looks like there will be a separate episode on the museum. There's a lot to talk about in the museum, and it just recently reopened, so it's lovely. So I'll see what I can do, and thank you everyone for joining. More tours are gonna be added because so far it's only 3 or 4 that are up. There will be a special St. Valentine's tour and maybe another premiere of a not easily accessible mansion in St. Petersburg that's Oleg has been working on. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for your interest in my tours. Well, it's been lovely to go back to the Armenian Quarter, and it's always nice to hang out with you. Thank you also for your appreciation of Misha's tour, Misha's research on the on Anton Chekhov. So Misha promised to come up with a tour description shortly, so I will be able to schedule it. And next time we're talking about all those evergreens, Three Sisters, the Seagull, Uncle Vanya, Cherry Orchard, and all of them, so definitely. And I will be sharing tour recordings shortly as well. And yesterday's tour recordings are already up on my website. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your support as well. You can send me a PayPal donation. You could buy me a coffee. I will see you next week for many other meaningful tours. Bye bye. Thank you, Maria. Shavua Tov. No, I'm not a dog owner. I don't have any dogs. No.